Regina, Mater misericordiae, vita dulcedo, estes nostra salve.
The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. Jesus and his disciples left from there and began a journey through Galilee, but he did not wish anyone to know about it. He was teaching his disciples and telling them, the Son of Man is to be handed over to men, and they will kill him. And 3 days after his death, the Son of Man will rise. But they did not understand what he was saying, and they were afraid to question him. He came to Capernaum, and once inside the house, he began asking them, "What were you arguing about on the way?" But they remained silent, for they had been discussing among themselves on the way who was the greatest. Then he sat down, called the 12, and said to them, "If anyone wishes to be first, he shall be the last of all and the servant of all." Taking a child, he placed it in their midst, and putting his arms around it, he said to them, "Whoever receives one child such as this, in my name receives me, and whoever receives me receives not me, but the one who sent me." The Gospel of the Lord. This gospel picks up just after yesterday's. Jesus catches his disciples in an argument about why a demon can't be cast out. Probably the course of the argument was something like this: "Let me have my turn. I can do that better than you, because I'm better than you." And you can see the argument continuing now here. Who's the greatest? And so I was thinking the beauty of him taking this little child and wrapping the child in his arms. Mark is very vivid with few words. He puts his arms around the child. You can see him embracing and hugging this little child. And notice it says child. It's nondescript for gender. So it's almost like Mark is saying, everybody who's listening to the gospel, put yourself in the picture and be this little child, embraced by Christ. And I started to think about this morning as I was reading this from from the letter to James. Who did you run to when you had a bad dream or you were afraid of the dark? I don't know how many kids I hear about disturbing their parents and running, "I'm afraid." There it is. The innocence of being able to run to mom or dad, or daddy, in this case. Resist the devil, and he will take flight. But before that, he says, God resists the proud, but gives grace to the humble. This is the one who is humble enough to plead for help and place themselves under the mantle of their Heavenly Father. And with the help of our Heavenly Father, we submit to God. We resist the devil, and he will take flight. I couldn't help but hearken back to the Garden of Eden. Can you imagine if Adam and Eve, instead of taking that fruit, would have said, "Daddy, there's an ugly beast in the tree. Can you help us? I think we're having a nightmare." And the devil would have taken flight. Jesus is modeling with this child. He's modeling his own relationship with the Father. Jesus is almost assuming the persona of the Father and wrapping up this little child in his arms and showing what the Father wants to do to all of us. What he's doing is he's upholding the esteem that he has for his Heavenly Father, and he's showing the disciples where true greatness begins. Begins first by recognizing who the Father is and where we need to go for everything. And in the background, you can hear the tape playing, that how serious Jesus takes this, because he's already disclosed the coming passion that he's going to experience. And you can hear in the background, Father, into your hands I commend my spirit, as he wraps up this little child in his arms, trusting that when he's on the cross, the Father will wrap him in his arms as well. We are the lost children of Eden. And so often we forget who our Father is. We are the little children of a great and loving Father. And this gospel passage this morning shows us how to reunite and be bonded to the Father who wants to wrap us in his arms of mercy and safety.
Regina Celi,